What is happening? Miles Biggs, Biggs Ideas, Mr. TEDxer.
Yeah, that's right. Officially say it now. Yeah.
The Mr. TEDxer. How cool is that, man? How was it? Tell us real quick.
It was awesome. Mainly awesome just to get it done and not have it looming over my brain. But it was great. Super weird, actually, to give a speech during the pandemic, right? It was outside. Yeah. Everybody was socially distanced, but everybody was also wearing masks. So it was like, you can't see like full facial expressions, right? You're counting on a raise of an eyebrow or a nod of the head to see if you made a point that landed with somebody. So almost like we're talking to mannequins just sitting there. Besides from that, though, it was great. I was really excited. About a little over a year of my life, over in 15 minutes. So that's how it works.
Well, you stress, and then you build up to it, and all of a sudden the big moments here, in your case, TEDx.
Yeah.
And then it's over. Now you're lost. Now, you've written a book, you've done TEDx, you've made it in the top 5 podcasts across the country. I mean, there's nothing left for you to do other than retire, right?
And have a baby. Got baby number 2 coming at the end of the year. So I can focus on that and not this other stuff. Yeah.
And that, well, you know what? That's the most important stuff to focus on, right?
Absolutely.
I love it. So you see me reaching over here. I'm playing with some new stuff. Look, Miles, I got me a new Samsung phone.
Ooh, look at that.
Cool, huh? So I'm trying to get some other things set up. Hey, all right. So let's get into this today, everybody. Welcome. Another week of increasing influence with Miles Biggs, Biggs Idea. We had a great week last week, didn't we?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, what an amazing person. And I have to tell you, we got some other great guests coming up here in the future as well. Miles, you have somebody come on your show. They're going to be on your show all the way from Afghanistan or Iraq?
Iraq. Yeah. In 2 weeks. Soldier currently deployed in Iraq will be on my Monday Morning with Miles show at 7:30 in the morning. It's 2:30 p.m. her time over there. So she's going to join me to talk about some positivity from across the world. This is going to be awesome.
Well, listen, if you can have positivity in the sandbox, as we call it in the military, you're doing pretty good.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right. So listen, everybody, hit that like and share button right now. If you're not following Miles Biggs or Dave Cooper, please hit that follow button. And as always, smash those like and share buttons right now so we can share this with everybody else. I want to say hi. We got John out there from Chicago, and we also have George Ryman in there from Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome, you two. Thank you for joining us today. Miles, today we're going to get back to basics.
Fundamentals.
Back to the basics. So we're going to do a presentation. This is we're going to do part of a presentation of something that I talk about at IBS every year, in the Tech Bike session. And that is the power of video and why you should be doing video for yourself or your business. It's so powerful and it's so important. And I think some of the statistics that we're going to go over today might just be a little mind-boggling for some of you out there watching this.
Totally. I think a lot of people think, video's for that guy. Let Dave do that, right? That's Dave's thing. I don't need to do that. And we come up with a lot of rationalizations. And I did that, right? I did that for a while until this year. But yeah, for sure. We were looking at it before we went live. Some of the stats are crazy and getting crazier as we continue to move even more digital with everything going on with the pandemic right now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, listen, if you're not doing social media, if you're not doing video, you are losing. It's going to happen, especially this upcoming year, 2021. We are not seeing it being too much different than 2020. I think that social media, Zoom calls, LinkedIn Lives, all this stuff, this is the way of the future for the foreseeable future anyhow. So you better get on the train of podcasts and video, right?
Yeah, I think to add what you said, you're losing right now if you're not doing it. You will be completely lost a year from now. Like no hope for you a year from now if you don't start today. So it's not one of those things you can keep putting off and off and off, because by the time you do start, it's gonna be way too late and you're gonna be irrelevant. So it sounds harsh. It's meant to. Let's get off our butts and do stuff. So let's talk about it, Dave.
It is. And eventually, this stuff may not be free. Posting videos may not be free in the future. YouTube may not be free in the future. So there's all these things. So if you don't have your property, your land grab, as they call it on the internet, already staked, Somebody's going to run you over. So, all right, let's get it. Howdy, Andrew. Nice to see you today. He said, congrats, Miles. Here, let me just put that up. That's nice. Howdy, all, and congrats, Miles, on the result. Retirement looms.
Yeah.
I want to retire at Andrew's place in one of his G-Pods out there, dude.
Thanks,
on all that. Yeah. All right, so let's hop into it. All right, video connects people. It's an opportunity to emotionally connect with your audience, tell your story, and start your relationship. Now, what do I mean by this, Miles?
Geez, I mean, whatever we're selling, people can buy it from someone else, right? It's very rare that we have some completely unique thing in the market. So we have to give them a reason to buy it from us specifically. So video lets people see the people behind the product, understand with your story, somehow connect with you, want to buy from you, whatever it is that you are selling. So that's the big thing. You have to bring it back to that personal connection. Even though there's a screen separating you, you've got to be able to reach through that screen with your story, connect with that person. And unless you do that, they're really not going to buy.
Well, and that's it. And so what I've learned when we started doing videos years ago, when I was building modulars all the time, we started doing the video, people started walking through the front door and saying, hey, you're that guy on TV. I mean, on YouTube, or, and they would start doing that. And then my wife loved that white house with the white subway tile and ... We want that. All of a sudden, they already bought you. You have no idea who these people are. And that's where the power of video is really coming in. You're selling yourself and connecting to people on their time after third shift, while they're drinking coffee at 4 a.m. or whatever it is, and they want to build a house or they want to do something, and they're getting to know you. Right. And I think that's kind of the power behind it. So what does that mean? That means we are socially more connected today than ever. And I want your comments on that. Out there in social media land, we have a lot of people that tune in with us on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Right? Some of these people, a lot of people have no idea that I have never met Mark Willie in person.
Yeah, sure. That's a great example, right? Or Sarah Noose, we talked to yesterday.
Yeah.
I've known Sarah for over a year. She's in the book that I wrote that's going to be coming out soon. I've interviewed her on the podcast. I interviewed her here. I hadn't even seen her face. I just talked to her like through written messages or phone calls. It was the first time we actually talked face to face on the call last week. So it's awesome because it allows you to expand your geographic footprint beyond your backyard.
And yeah, it really does. And I mean, I think that's such a good way of putting it. And, Mark Willie and I met by doing shows, and then all of a sudden we're like, well, hey, let's do a show. And then we talked about it for months. And then all of a sudden the opportunity came up to do a show. And I have to tell you, we have a lot of fun on the show. It makes for a lot of fun. All right. So, but with that said, here's our next thing. And this is the thing that's been hot in the news, TikTok, right? I've been talking about TikTok for a while in my keynotes and some of the other things that we do. But here's what people probably don't know about TikTok, right? TikTok, this is last year, by the way. TikTok had 80 million downloads in the United States alone. They have 800 million downloads worldwide. And this is within less than 5 years, I think it is. Think of those numbers. 80 million. What is that? Is that 1 out of every 4 people in the United States, right? When you do the math?
Yeah, sure. Something like that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. I mean, it's one of those things where, to your point about it's not always going to be free.
Yeah.
It's, even if it's free to download TikTok and post, getting eyeballs is not always going to be free. I mean, what's going to happen to TikTok is what happened to every other social media platform. I remember back in the day when I was starting up Facebook accounts for businesses, when it was new, you could post and reach 5,000 people without spending $1. Now you do that, you might reach 5 until you have to boost it in targeted audience. You have to pay to get in front of people organically. Well, it's not organically then, it's an ad. But the organic reach, your point about the land grab, that's going to go away with TikTok. TikTok's the newest big land grab. And at some point, that's going to get monetized. The algorithms and machines will take over. And then the next new thing will come on. So you've got to be an early adopter to take the most advantage of these things and get in front of people for free.
Absolutely. And I agree. Now we got all the government issues worked out or whatever they're doing, who's buying at Costco or Cisco. But I think that we're all fooling ourselves if we don't think that all the other companies like Facebook, YouTube they're all doing the same thing. It's just a matter of whether the government's involved. But nonetheless, I think that it's here to stay. People need to look at it. It is growing leaps and bounds, and it's probably in most of your homes already with your kids if you don't know it already. All right. So now what's happening? Now we have YouTube, right? YouTube's been around. YouTube has 1.9 billion total monthly active users. 1.9 billion. And we're going to get to a statistics that's super important here in a minute. And again, this is 2018 numbers. So this is growing. And there's 30 million plus total number of daily active users. 30 million people. Can you imagine if you had a platform that had 30 million plus daily active users on it? That's powerful, Miles.
Absolutely.
All right. 1 out of every 3 people on the internet frequent YouTube. And YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And the first search engine is, everybody knows, Google. Google owns YouTube. And you made a very important comment, Miles, a few minutes ago about paying to boost. That ties back to what I'm telling people. Right now, you can still reach people with your video and your audience, but pretty soon, it's all going to be paid. You want to get in front of people, they're going to say you got to pay us.
Totally.
It only makes sense. The deeper the rabbit hole goes, the more they're going to put their hand out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it. Love it. I know. Miles, you got me on a hot topic here today. All right. So here's the staggering result. 9% of small businesses are on YouTube.
Yeah, which is horrible.
Does that make any sense?
Oh, it makes sense to me just because I've been in marketing and I understand the mind of the small business owner, right? That's frivolous. There's other things you need to worry about. That's not going to pay the bills, right now, right? There's all these rationalizations we put in front of it. But every small business has a frequently asked questions page with some kind of BS 1 or 2 sentences that answer a question. All of those FAQs should be YouTube videos with a person from your company in front of the camera, answering them, providing context, showing up, being a resource, engaging in the comments, right? It doesn't take a crazy amount of effort, but the impact can be huge, especially in search. When you talked about it being the number 2 search engine and it's owned by the number 1 search engine, when people are asking questions, YouTube's really a learning engine. I know people that call it YouTube University. They want to learn something, they get on YouTube. I've just a couple weeks ago had a busted wax ring on my toilet. I never changed one before. I literally YouTubed, how do I fix a leaking toilet? All these videos, millions of hits, layered with ads. So I know as I'm watching it, this person's making money. All they did was change a wax ring on a toilet and film themselves, and they're a plumber, right? So if somebody like that, plumbing can do it in YouTube, every other business can do stuff with that on YouTube.
There's actually a really well-known plumber on YouTube. I mean, he's growing. I mean, he's doing it's a plumber. And that's all he's talking about is how to fix your own crap, I guess we could say. Right. And I think that's super, super important for, people to understand as well. There are people completely doing this. So let me break it down for everybody in a real simple format here. So you have 1.9 billion monthly users on YouTube. You have 1/3 of internet users go to YouTube every single day, but only 9% of businesses are tapping into that 1.9 billion. That makes no sense to me. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah. It makes me happy that I'm on YouTube, right? It's you want to be in that 9% because that 9%, you're fighting with fewer people. But yeah, it's right. It's silly. It's just silly.
What is silly? Completely silly. All right, so let's get into some more of this, right? So videos are pretty much everywhere. Like you said, you're on video. I'm on video all the time. And I can tell you one thing, when we started doing videos for our home building business and not scripted videos, we're out there just interviewing customers, talking to people, talking about our product. Sales went through the roof. Changed just like that because we built relationships with people on their time. They were able to get to know us as an organization before they even walked through the door. And it made it a little uncomfortable for us at first because it just hits you unexpectedly. Like,
right.
How do you know all this about me? You're like, oh, you're watching all the videos.
Yeah. A while ago, Google came out with this study. They called it the 0 moment of truth. It's been around for years. If you guys haven't seen it, it's definitely worth
a
Google. If you look up the 0 moment of truth,
write that right now.
The idea is that the first moment of truth used to be when you're standing, let's say in a grocery store, and you would compare two brands, and you look at the labels, you'd look at the price, you'd look at the ingredients. That was the moment of truth. There in the store, you would make your decision to buy something. Now what you're talking about, Dave, when people are doing it on their own time, that's the 0 moment of truth, where before they even meet you, they're making a decision about you based on what you have out there. And with something with housing is a great example. It's such a long extended buying cycle. It's not an impulse purchase. You don't wake up one day and say, hey, honey, let's build a house. Let's walk down the street to the first person we talk to and go with that guy. You don't do that. It's a huge purchase, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions in some cases. They take it seriously. They do a lot of research. And so they Google, they YouTube, they're looking for someone they feel they can trust with this biggest investment in their lives, that knows what they're talking about, that's done it before. Video allowed you, Dave, to show all of that, not just say it, tell them that. You showed them those examples. You showed them the happy customers. Now they walk in, like you said, they already bought. Now they just want to pick, okay, I want this flooring, that faucet. Yes, I'm already sold. Like, how do I do this? Let's move. Here's my money. And it's a longer buying cycle. You've shortened your piece of it because now they come to you. They're already informed. You don't have to educate them on your time because you've already done it on their time, and you can close more deals. And then those sales go through the roof, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, so to speak, Miles, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Video is free. And plus it's a learning opportunity, a selling opportunity. And right now they're free, right? Watch a video. Like you said, everybody goes to YouTube. Everybody goes to research because they can fix their own things if they have the knowledge to fix it. So I think this is huge. You know, I always say the power is in your pocket. You can get out there, you can do these things, you can make the changes. And I think this is really important for people to understand. You know, yes, I have a setup here and cameras and all that, but that's just years of pulling gear together because I got addicted.
Right.
You don't need it. Today's phones, like that new phone I just showed at the beginning of the show, that has like 64 megapixels. That has more megapixels than my Sony camera.
Yeah, I mean it's wild. It's crazy. You carry professional photography equipment in your pocket. It's more for taking pictures of your food. You know, you can do it for more than that.
Yeah. All right. So here's where it comes powerful for people that are selling something. 64% of online shoppers say that a video on social media helped them make their decision. 64%. Now, guess what? Only 9% of somebody in business that was selling something, not reviews. You know, there's people doing reviews on stuff, but think about how powerful that is for a business by itself, Miles. If 64% of consumers will say that.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And you think about all the time they are spending on certain things, and I'm sure that there are things that are not giving them that amount of return.
No. Hey, who's out there in the audience right now? Hit that like and share button, please. Let us know where you're from. And hey, if any of this is hitting home, let us know, because I really want your feedback on some of this stuff, because it kind of boggles my mind a little bit. And if video is not your thing, you know, podcast, the written word, like, what do you do? I mean, what do you do out there? What are you doing for your business? How do you grow your business other than trying to network? And okay, if you're going to network, how are you doing it without video today?
Right. And I'd love to hear also, to add to that, why people don't do video, right? So it's like, you can't deny the facts. You're giving hard numbers here, Dave, right? Like, hopefully no one's going to argue over those numbers, right? But you know the numbers, you know it makes sense. So why haven't we done it? What's really standing in the way? Because that's the stuff that we have to address in order to move past it and have it start working for us.
Yeah, so 100%.
Give us those objections in the comments too, and we can talk about them.
Yeah, bring it up. Don't sit there stagnant. Let's have a conversation. All right. Look at this one, Miles. 20% of people will read text on a page, but 80% of people will watch a video.
For sure. And videos autoplay in your social feeds.
Yeah.
So they don't auto read, but the video auto plays. So it's, again, just another reason to do it.
Well, I mean, and that's 100% it. It's eye-catching. It takes very minimal effort. And hey, listen, I tell all the time, I am not the guy that you send me a 2-paragraph email, I'm picking up phone calling you.
Right. For sure.
Video is my thing. It's been my way out, right? Like finally, I don't have to write something.
Have you done an audio text yet? Like a voice text?
I have. In fact, I actually use in Gmail all the time the whole video where I send a video.
Right.
Where I'll just sit there and I won't even send an email. It'll be a video in the email. It just says real quick, whatever it is I want to say.
Pick it up and just talk into the phone and send them my voice or send the video. And it's just, again, a better way. To your point, Dave, if you don't like being on screen, you can use your voice to be connected to people, especially in our society today where we have to be socially distant.
Right.
We don't have to be completely cut off from one another. You can inject your personality, which again forms those relationships, which makes people feel comfortable buying from you when it comes to business.
Yeah, for sure. Little pro tip. A lot of people don't know, like in LinkedIn Messenger and what have you, you can send video and voice messages. You don't have to sit there and type. If you pay attention to the little plus button, you can sit there as you're going up the road and you see a message and you can voice record something and hit send and send it to somebody. And if you got fat little fingers like me that don't work good on the Androids or Apple phones, it's an easy way to respond and personalize it.
I wish more people would do that than the copy and paste crap I get where it's just a form like message. And then they say, hey, I just want to bump this up to the top of your inbox.
I get that all the time.
No need, buddy. You don't need to bump it up. I'm not talking about
Yeah, I didn't know it was there.
Oh, yeah.
I know it. All right. So, but with that said, this is what's changing real quick, right? We talk about video still in its infancy, and it really, truly is. However, COVID has sped this whole thing up in a very, very fast way because everybody is now forced into using video. So now is the time to get on the train. And if you're not getting on it, you got to figure out what works for you that you can get on this train. If you're a small business, even personal branding, Miles. I mean, think about it, personal branding in itself. So here's the deal. Video content is 50 times more likely to drive organic search results than plain text will. Remember, Miles, who owns YouTube?
Yeah. The Google monster.
And what's happening right now in the world with the TikToks and other video platforms coming in? Competition's coming. Why is the competition coming in video and not in search engines? Like written search engines. You're not seeing a whole lot of there's not a TikTok search out there. There's TikTok video, right? And as much as people hate the word TikTok and it's with the Chinese, I get it, but it's not going anywhere.
100%. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I'm
on my soapbox. I'm like, come on, Miles.
Welcome to Dave's TED Talk, everybody.
This should be my TED Talk, right?
Should be, yeah. You could do it.
I love it. I'm in, man. I'm doing one. So here's the thing. We've talked about this before. If you're looking to get started, let's give some practical advice, right? How do you start? And basically, when I do my testimony, I have video examples of all this, but you just say thank you. It's as simple as that. Just even after a podcast or after a video, if you're talking to somebody, let's say it's a supplier. It's so simple, right? I mean, it really is. Hey, just wanted to thank James Hardy for, taking the time to, come to our house today and work on our product or teach us or whatever. It's the simplest thing to do. And you can just do that 7 days a week. And people would appreciate it because it's going to sound genuine and it's going to sound like it really matters and means something, right?
Absolutely. And allows you to provide value to somebody else, which makes them more likely to bring you value by sharing that video or commenting on it or sending people your way. And, it's definitely reciprocal.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. So other ways. Come on, screen. Interview people who love your product or appreciate your service. How many people out there that don't have customer testimonials and video?
Yeah.
If you have a happy customer, say, hey, can I get you to say that on video with me real quick?
I even had one of my clients someone left him a voicemail. And he's like, you got to listen to this voicemail. And he played it for me. And I was like, you need to call that guy and get him to sign a release for us to use this very voicemail. Like, send me that audio file. We'll upload it to the website and they can click play and they can hear him say it because that's way more impactful, even if it's not video and it's just the audio file, than the cliche written out words that we don't know if they actually said it or not, or It sounds too good to be true because it's just written.
Right.
When you hear it, it's something completely changes that exchange.
Yeah, 100%. I listen. Sometimes I feel like we're talking amongst ourselves today there, Miles.
Well, and use this as an example, right? StreamYard. We're on StreamYard. You can get this for free. You can also buy it, but you could get on with your client.
StreamYard.
Yeah, right. And so you can get on with the client and say, okay, I'd like you to say X, Y, Z. Now make me full screen, Dave. Right? Now you can still be on it. Dave's still there. Now I've just been coached by Dave to say being on Dave Cooper Live was the best thing that ever happened to me. Before I was on this show, I didn't have any followers. Now that I'm on this show, my following's through the roof. I'm making all this money. It's great. If you don't know Dave, you should click the link below, hit him up, call him up, right? And now Dave can pop back in and say, Miles, that was good, but I wish you would have said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Okay, put me back full screen. So you can do it. You can coach someone through a testimonial. All anybody's going to see is that finished recording. They don't know Dave's waiting in the wings, getting exactly what he needs for his business. But then you can give him you say thank you by sending him out to dinner, give him a gift card, whatever you want to do. But that 30-second video is gold, and it doesn't 100%. Take a lot to do it.
Yeah. Listen, it's about personal branding, who you are, what you do, what sets you apart. Are you a real person, right? It builds trust. Are you knowledgeable, trustworthy, sincere? Simon Sinek says it best, Miles. What does Simon Sinek say? People buy what you.
Oh yeah, they buy what you do. They buy why you do it.
They buy why you do it. And when you have other people tell your story, it doesn't get any more powerful than that.
For sure.
Absolutely. It really doesn't. Third-party testimonial is the biggest thing. I mean, even for my world, this is why we're out there with businesses and we're traveling the United States and we're out there as a non-biased, doing our interviews, talking to people. It's real, it's unedited, and it's not you saying it, how great your product is. We're out there talking about it because we believe in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it.
I think that's a good point you made when it comes to video. A lot of people feel like, man, I don't want to talk about myself. I don't want to be on screen saying how great Miles is. Well, you don't have to be. You can make it about somebody else.
Yeah.
You can be that facilitator, that facilitator of somebody else's story and still get your recognition for yourself without being, this guy who's always talking about himself, comes off as arrogant, whatever your thing is, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. You know this guy, right?
Sure do. Yeah.
He's the foul mouth guy from New Jersey. Gary Vaynerchuk, greatest land grab opportunity that humans have ever seen is what Gary calls the internet today.
Absolutely.
That's a huge statement if you really think about it.
Well, yeah. So the thing with land, right? The historical phrase that land equals power, and they're not making any more physical land.
That's right.
The value of land, but the internet, they're making pieces of land every single day. TikTok didn't exist how many years ago, right? But now somebody just invented this island called TikTok, and chunks of it are getting chopped up and sold.
Yeah. With
attention, right? So it's unlimited. There's so much room for everyone, but only 9% are getting in the game. It's absolutely crazy.
And if you think about it with TikTok, even if there's only 9% in the game on YouTube, TikTok probably doesn't even have a 0.01%. It's mostly young people. And we've been putting videos on TikTok the last few months. I have some that are over 90,000 views right now. It's a land grab, whether people like it or not. And now YouTube has come out with YouTube Shorts. I don't know if everybody knows that, to compete with TikTok.
Nice. So and Instagram has Reels. It's everybody's doing their thing. Yeah.
So, and even with that, imagine if you hop on YouTube Shorts now as somebody in the beginning, you could very well become the next Casey Neistat on the short side of videos.
Absolutely. 100%.
And have 12 million followers or whatever he's up to these days.
It's crazy.
Isn't it nuts? I couldn't imagine what it's like when somebody says, hey, just trying to get back to the top of your inbox.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have so much more to go into, but I don't want to beat a dead horse here. I think it's so powerful. I think where video is today, all these Zoom calls, everything that's happening, your world, all these things that you're working on, you're being invited to do this. You have all these guests trying to get on your show. You got, You got news outlets writing about how you've made the top 5 or 6 or whatever it was podcasts in the country. It's because you're out here. You know,
Yeah.
We were talking earlier. Somebody told me, I don't know if this is true, but there's only 2,500 of us out of millions of people on LinkedIn that have LinkedIn Live. Now, I don't know if that stat's true because I just had a phone call with somebody and they said that. But I would be, I didn't know that. 2,500 out of millions of people on LinkedIn Live.
I'm definitely going to look that up after we're done because you said it went live.
I got to Google it now.
And Google it. It's
maybe it's 250,000. Let me look.
Maybe, but even still, right? That's still such a small fraction if it's that much. It is. Yeah, it's what's crazy about that is, and right, like it's not necessarily hard to get LinkedIn Live. You've got to show up and there's a process to apply and you've got to create stuff and you just have to show up. It's like college. I remember when I was a senior in college, I got asked to talk to some freshmen, my advice of like, how do you be successful, right? I literally said, just go to class. Like if you go to class, it's going to be really hard to get less than a C. Like you have to try to fail a college course. It takes more effort to fail than it does to pass that thing. And it's the same thing with creating content. You just have to keep showing up and then asking for more, putting yourself out there more, pushing yourself, getting access to these different tests, trying things, failing. You got to get comfortable with stuff not working, but then pushing through it. And that's the only way. All these people, they crack me up that like, I had somebody talk to me today about a podcast and they were trying to give me all this feedback and they said they were looking out for me and all this stuff. And it's just like, they had no idea what they were talking about. They've never done a podcast, but they were telling me everything I was doing wrong with my show. There are so many people out there that are doing that. And all those people, like everybody watching this probably has an opinion. Just get on video and tell me your opinion. I'd love to hear it. It's not hard to start, but it's hard to keep going. And I think that's where people stop. They don't see the immediate gratification. They don't get that top 5 list after day 1. And so they stop. But I've been podcasting for 3 years and nobody was talking about me. Right. And then all of a sudden it happened out of the blue.
Somebody's talking about Miles.
So, yeah.
I know. Well, it's cool. I did a search. I can't find the search on that, but I did find that there's looks like there's about 703 million users of LinkedIn right now.
Wow.
That's
so even if it was 250,000, not 2,500, that's still a staggering percentage.
Yeah.
Hell, well, that's 2.5 million out of 703 million, right? It's still a very small group.
Very small. Very small. Very small indeed. And it's fortunate enough that it's a hard thing to get to. We've been fortunate enough, but they're giving it to people that are creating content.
Yep.
Native content. So I had an idea, Miles.
Let's do it.
You want to hear it?
What is it? Let's hear it. Yeah.
This happened on my run this morning. I get my best ideas and sometimes my worst ideas while I'm out my run in the morning.
Same here.
I'm thinking about doing either a 24 or a 36-hour straight live stream. Get this.
Of course you are. Yeah.
Get this,
okay.
Right?
Yep.
But we're going to do it from around the world. So we'll, depending on the time zones, like there'll be some dinner breaks and stuff. And LinkedIn only lets you go 4 hours, but YouTube lets you go, right? But I think we can keep coming back into LinkedIn. But I want to do a around the world tour, live streaming, hitting different continents in their time zones.
Yeah.
Of what's happening in construction and innovation. So anybody can tune in at any time, day or hour globally and just catch something for 24 or 36 hours. So doesn't that sound cool, Miles?
Yeah, you're going to stay up for 36. Are you going to be there the whole time?
I haven't figured that one out yet. Hey, listen,
I get a coffee sponsor for that one.
Yeah, I'll just go back to my my military training days. We've had to do stuff like that several times, pounding sand.
That would really be cool. And that's just something that, if nothing else, I don't think anybody's done that before. It helps you make a splash. People would talk about you then and then tune into the regular stuff. It's some good PR. It'd be super interesting for sure.
That's it, man. You want to see what's happening in, I don't know, Vietnam.
Yeah, anywhere.
Or Africa, and we showcase what's going on over there. I don't know. I think it'd be a really fun thing to do, and I think it would just help offsite construction and where we're going with everything move along, at least in my world. Maybe you could co-host it with. You could help me do this around the world.
Sure. Yeah. While you're sleeping, I could be talking, and then we could vice versa, right?
Well, that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
Get a couple people in, get you in, maybe get Mark Willie to cover a couple episodes or something. But just
sure.
I'm thinking about doing it, Miles. I don't think it'll be that. I don't think it'll be that hard to pull off. I think it's just a matter of coordinating the hours and times with all the people that watch us from around the world.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, just it's a scheduling thing, and then you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Well, that's it for me today.
Leave you on the cliffhanger, everyone.
Maybe I shouldn't go running.
Live stream coming soon.
Maybe I shouldn't go running, Miles. All right. All right, everybody. Listen, who's out there? We got a couple red light ups. I think Jen made a comment, and I think Andrew made a comment. Jen said, thank you. Videos are the best. Thank your employees, your vendors, your suppliers, your clients. Saying thank you is an easy way to get started. Absolutely. And Andrew, what's happening? Relaxed but heavy-hitting show going today. You all are getting good at this.
Nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. I don't know. Sometimes you wonder, right? There's people out there watching. We can see it. But who knows? Yesterday, we had 203 attendees for that keynote. Now,
that's awesome.
Here's what's hard, Miles. It doesn't show that during the stream. But when I looked at the event card at the end, and it gives you the title, it said there was 203 attendees. And I know we had over 200 sign up at that by the time the show started.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see how many people jumped in and jumped out. But LinkedIn has a ways to go on statistics. They make it really hard to sort this out.
Well, I think that's why they have everybody testing it, right? It's just they gives them more data to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. So that's 41 minutes, Miles. So you're a rock star. TED Talks, all those things. I'm glad that I made it into your book. Hopefully I can ride your coattails of success to somewhere warm.
Somewhere warm. I think we'll get matching beach houses. We'll get them built, hang out in the sand. That'd be awesome.
That's right. Pool in between for the kids, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Meet you at the pool, Miles. Kegerators floating. It'll be a hoot and nanny good time. All right. Well, thank you, Miles. Had a good show. Thank you for letting me run my mouth on video today. I just felt we had to get some of this out there in between guests on our show.
Yeah, it's a good reminder for me too to, it's easy to forget sometimes, right? When you're thick of it, you're just like, why am I doing this? Yeah. But it is helpful to see those numbers, and it's a good reminder that there's a reason. It does work. Even though you're in the minority doing it, even though it feels like everybody I know is doing it, but it's just because I know people like you that are doing it, and there's much more people out there that aren't. So it was good. Yeah, and it's more important today than ever. That's the only way to socialize is through video now. So and everybody's starting to learn how to use it. All right, buddy. I think that's the end of our show. Unless you got something brilliant. Do you have any talks coming up? Anything you need to push? What about your soldier? What day? What time? That's podcast or it's live? Yeah, so that's gonna be a live. That's gonna be on November the 2nd, Monday at 7:30 a.m. Join me Monday morning with Miles, 7:30 in the morning Eastern. I'll be joined by a woman who's currently deployed over in Iraq. That's gonna be on that show. So we'll talk to her about how she's staying positive in the sandbox, as you said. Yeah. So what is that? That's 10 o'clock her time then, I think. She said it was 2:30 p.m. her time. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I know it's a difference. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, it was a relaxed show today. It was nice to take a little mental break to talk about something that we love and know so well. And we're going to hop back on the guest train here coming up next week. It takes a lot of time to prepare all these guests and keep it going. So every once in a while, we need to get back to basics and have a breather. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Miles, man. I will see you later. Have a good one, my friend. You too. See you next time. All right, everybody, hit that smash and like button one more time and make sure you follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Dave Cooper Live, and Miles Biggs Ideas. Top 5 podcasts out there. You got to follow Miles. Relish the journey. We'll see you guys. Bye. See you guys.